A tense countdown has begun as the Gaza ceasefire takes effect, with Israel eagerly awaiting the release of hostages and Palestinian prisoners. This is a critical moment in the region's history, and the world is watching with bated breath. The hostage release deal, a controversial move? In a move that has sparked debate, Israel has released a list of 250 Palestinian prisoners who are set to be freed as part of the U.S.-brokered peace deal. But here's where it gets controversial. These prisoners will only be released after a 72-hour period, during which all remaining Israeli hostages, living and dead, must be handed over by Hamas. An Israeli official has confirmed that this deadline falls on Monday afternoon, with Hamas promising to deliver all hostages by noon local time, which is 5 a.m. Eastern, reopening borders and moving forward. As the ceasefire holds, efforts are underway to reopen the Rafah Crossing from southern Gaza into Egypt. The Italian Defense Ministry has announced that this crossing will reopen on Tuesday, in coordination with the White House and European Union authorities. This move is in line with the Trump agreement, and operations for the release of hostages and prisoners are expected to begin on Sunday. The EU Border Assistance Mission at Rafah will be present to monitor the border's reopening, ensuring a neutral third-party presence. A glimpse of hope. Gazans return home amidst the partial withdrawal of Israeli forces. Displaced Gazans have begun returning to the northern parts of their war-torn territory. CBS News reported that Palestinians were seen traveling along Al-Rashid Road, a main route along Gaza's Mediterranean coast. Eyewitnesses paint a grim picture of full-scale destruction in Gaza City, where Israeli ground operations continued right up until the ceasefire took effect on Friday morning. The extent of the damage is visible across Gaza City and the Al-Shati refugee camp. The Red Cross's role. Ensuring dignity and safety. International Red Cross President Mirjana Spoljaric emphasized the need for the return of hostages and Palestinian prisoners to be carried out safely and with dignity. ICRC teams in Israel, Gaza, and the West Bank will support this process, helping to reunite hostages and detainees with their families. Spoljaric also highlighted the importance of allowing families to mourn their loved ones with dignity, suggesting the potential return of human remains. An international effort to locate missing hostages. Gal Hirsch, the hostage and missing persons coordinator for the Israeli Prime Minister's office, announced the formation of an international team to locate missing hostages. This team will be established in the coming days, with Hamas having agreed to release all Israeli hostages, living and dead, provided that appropriate field conditions are met for the exchange process. Israeli officials estimate that only 20 of the 48 remaining hostages in Gaza are still alive. Israel's partial withdrawal, a step towards peace? President Trump's senior envoy, Steve Witkoff, confirmed that the Israeli Defense Forces had completed the first phase of their withdrawal to the Yellow Line at 12 p.m. local time. This marks the beginning of the 72-hour period during which Hamas must release all remaining Israeli hostages. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed that Gaza would be demilitarized, stating that Hamas will disarm and that this process would be achieved either the easy way or the hard way. Netanyahu defended his government's actions, emphasizing that the hostage deal was not always on the table and that Hamas only agreed when faced with a sword at its neck. Humanitarian aid and the road to recovery. An Israeli security source revealed that 600 trucks carrying humanitarian aid are set to enter Gaza in the coming days. This aid, consisting of food, medical equipment, shelter supplies, and fuel, will be provided by United Nations agencies, international organizations, the private sector, and donor countries. Residents will be allowed to leave through the Rafah Crossing. Coordinated with Egypt and under the supervision of a European Union delegation, after security approval by Israel. The final hours, explosions and smoke. As the ceasefire approached, large plumes of smoke billowed over Gaza, with Israeli bombs continuing to fall on the Palestinian territory. Despite Israeli officials stating that the ceasefire would take effect immediately upon government approval of the deal, explosions continued for hours afterward. An Israeli military spokesperson warned Gaza residents not to approach IDF forces stationed in designated areas within the Gaza Strip, emphasizing the serious risks involved. This is a critical juncture in the Gaza conflict, and the world awaits the outcome of these delicate negotiations. What are your thoughts on the hostage release deal and the potential for lasting peace? Share your opinions in the comments below.